Okay, hey guys. Oh, that's close. Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Witches of the Moon. This week we are talking about doing work for clients versus doing work for ourselves. My name is Dia, aka ORI'S OASIS of ORI'S and honestly, I don't know where to even go at with this one. To be totally honest, I mean, there's so many different ways you could take it. You could take it on moral grounds, as far as should you do work for others, because and if you take it like to me, if you take it to moral grounds, well, first you have to define whether you should do work for others, because morally, everybody has to work on their own stuff. They have their own spiritual work their own spiritual walk they have to take. But and then on top of that, but in saying that, we all know that some people just need a boost. They just need to see it. They just need a little help, a little helping hand. So morally, that can go like all over the place. Um, oh, then you have to think about what are you willing to. Excuse me, guys. I got messages popping all up all over the place. But then you have to think about where. And excuse if this thing is jumping around. I'm sitting on my bed and holding it in my hand. So if this is jumping around, I'm sorry. I actually kind of forgot. Sorry. So I'm doing this right now so I can get up to you. But as I was saying, the other thing morally is what are you willing to do for others and what are you not? Now, as far as that aspect, for me, in my practice, once you start, from my practice, in my opinion, my experience, once you start doing work for others, you no longer have moral judgment. And saying that, meaning when you start doing work for others, People only going to come to you with what you put out there. Most people come to you with what you know, what they would like. Um, and most people, when you start doing work for others, they already know your moral grounds, your moral standings, what you're willing to do, what you're not willing to do. So when I say, I'm not even sure what I'm supposed to be looking at. I hope I'm looking at the camera. I don't even know right now. But what I say, I'm in a goofy mood. I'm sorry, guys. This has been a long day. I'm winding down. I almost forgot to do this. I thought I had already done it. I realized I didn't do it. I'm sorry, y'all. And I'm already in a goofy mood because my brain's starting to shut down. But as I was saying, most people know your morals. So most people who come to you are not going to push you past your moral ground. But we all know within our moral grounds, we have other moral standards. And once we have basically a moral foundation that we stand on, what we're going to do, what we're not going to do, most people know that. Now, so outside of that, I personally believe outside of that, there should be no more judgment. Outside of that, you are now the medium between that person and which they want. So therefore, you are neither good nor bad, neither high vibration, low vibration, even though I don't believe in none of that. Neither black magic nor white magic. I don't even believe either one. That magic is magic, but for the purpose of this video, you are no longer either. You are the magic, and magic is basically you are the magic, and magic is neither good nor bad. It's all how it was used. So you are the medium being used. That's how I feel. And again, this is once you already have your moral foundation and you're standing on it. So when people come to you, that's how I feel. Now, outside of that, I guess we can go to as far as doing work for others. Should you charge? I'm going to say hell yeah. Um, excuse me. Now I know everybody's not going to agree with this, but as far as in my opinion, in my past, in my history, everything is energy exchange. And when you do work for others, you're putting so much energy into it. Your history, all the things you know. You're putting the herbs that you over time stored up, and what the oils, whether you bought it and then charged it, whether you made your own. You're putting so much work into this. The candles, the other things you may use, the charms, different things. You're putting so much energy into it that energy needs to be replaced in some form. For me, that form is money. Now, everybody doesn't have to be compensated with money. This is my choice. I choose to be compensated with money. Now, others, they choose to barter, but bartering is still compensation. So I believe that, yes, you still should charge and you still should be compensated for any type of work that you do for somebody else. And, everybody has their own form of compensation. So that's how I feel about that. As far as What other aspect are there for working with others? How about let's go to some of the pitfalls. When doing work for yourself, you know, if if it's not going fast enough, then you can add to it. Even though I would suggest not to, I would suggest once you start a work to wait and see how it plays out. I always say give it a good 3 weeks to a month before you do something else. Once you start a work, now doing work for others, you have to be upfront and let them know that depending on what it is, it needs to have time to manifest. Give it 3 weeks to a month. There also needs to be a conversation about how many other people they have working on this, and let them feel comfortable enough to tell you. A lot of times people like to be, when they were doing work for others, they like to be the only person that's working on a situation. Half the time you're not. A lot of times people hop from person to person to person looking for results, but in that, I'm not going to say that's a bad thing, but you need to know and doing work for others what other people have done or have currently doing, so that your work do not clash with their work and cause a big old mess in this person's lives. Now, if it does happen, that ain't on you, that's on them, because they should have gave the information. But we all know a lot of times that's not what they do. They don't feel comfortable because they like to make us feel special, and they don't feel comfortable saying whatever things that people are working on. And also, they don't like to feel judged. They already feel judged enough by coming to you for doing this work. Even though you said nothing, they already feel like, they're being judged for coming and doing this work. So they don't want to give up a whole lot of extra because they don't want to feel extra judged. And hopefully you're not judging them, wherever the work may be. Now, with that being said, you should know though, or have a conversation and let them open up to you so they can tell you exactly who's done what, when, and what time. For those of you out there who get work done by other people, especially whether it's multiple people or one person, but especially multiple people, write down what each person is doing. Make sure you stay in contact with them. Some things are not just a 5 minute, let me do this and get done. Some things take 2 or 3 weeks just to do, and then you have to wait for the results. So make sure you stay in contact with them when they started and when it's done. And you don't have to ask them all the details. I know a lot of people like me, I'm not about to tell you every little thing, detail by detail, every ingredient of what I used. I may tell you an oil blend that I made up, that I used the name of it, but I'm not going to tell you everything that's in the oil blend. No, that just makes no sense. But in there, keep a journal of who does what and give it 3 weeks to write your results. And that way you know how to communicate with new people who you're working with, because you may not work with the same person. Again, I'm still confused where to look at, but you may not work with every person on everything all the time. You have, as the client, you have the right to go where you want, who you want, how you want. But I will suggest is, space it out and let the other person know. That way their work won't undo some work that's already been done. They can just add on, basically. Especially if you haven't given it time to manifest. Now, as far as working on yourself, doing work for yourself, it's for me, I've noticed it's easier for me to do work for myself than let other people do it, because I'm very hands-on. I'm one of those people who's like, what are you doing? What do you put it in it? What's the name of that? Where'd that come from? Who'd you buy it from? What season did they pick it in? I'm one of those type people. I want to know everything. So for me, it's easier for me to do the work myself. But in saying that, when doing the work for yourself, one, you have to, even if you're not very hands-on, even if you buy all your supplies from everywhere, I don't have my own garden, so even if I make my own stuff, I have to buy the herbs to do it. But again, and saying that, even if you're a person to make your own stuff, you have to be confident that your work is going to work. Energy is everything. Thoughts go into energy. So if you have that thought that it's not going to work, it's not going to, because you put that doubt in the work. So you have to be very confident in your work. Now, if you know you're not that confident in the work that you're doing, or you feel as though you're not experienced, one, I'm going to tell you, everybody had to start somewhere. I had to start somewhere. Even if you're born a witch as a child, or if you're born whatever you're born into. As a child, you started then. Everybody started somewhere. So you have to start somewhere. I like to say start small, because starting small works your confidence up. And confidence is key to doing this type of work. It's key. Not only is knowledge key, because you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you're not confident, it's not going to work. Okay, you have to excuse me. My kids just bust open the door and walked in the room. They're supposed to be laying down watching a movie, but whatever. All right. So, what was I saying? Be confident in what you're doing. Now, I don't mean be bold and be cocky. Now, granted, if you got 30, 40 years in and you know this stuff by heart, do you, boo. Be as cocky as you want to be. I'm for you. Gotcha. We cool. We here. Like, I'm like, I got about, how many years do I have in this? I got about, I could be cocky. I got about 20 years in. But even in saying that, wow, I'm going on 21 years in this. Um, but even in saying that, there's always something to learn, always something to grow, and make sure that you keep learning and don't just reject something because you're not used to using it. As far as as far as working for others, I wouldn't come off arrogant. Of course, you want to come off knowledgeable, but for me, if I don't, even in 20 years in the game, going on 21 years in the game, if I don't know something, I go, boo, I don't know. I don't use that. I don't work with that. That ain't how I do it. I don't know the hell you're talking about. I can research it. Can you tell me about it? But I'm not going to lie to you and pretend like I know something that I don't. Um, and and working with other people, you really should be open and honest. And I think at this point I'm rambling because there's so many different ways to take this topic. Like you can go from morals to money to being knowledgeable to being confident to working for somebody for the first time, um, to taking it as a business. And that's another great topic. Okay, first of all, doing something for somebody else for the first time, you should have at least done it for yourself or be honest, let that person know this is my first time doing it. So don't be coming at my neck if it don't come out the way you want. This is an experiment for you as well as it for me. And technically, every work is an experiment because everybody's energy is different. Even though you could do the same thing over and over again, you don't truly and fully know that person's mindset and how that's going to affect um, the work. So, and this is also a reason why I say you should charge. You should be compensated because you have to put so much energy in it that it has to override whatever the other person is thinking in order for it to work. So that's another thing. And where was I going there? I talked about money. I talked about first time. Oh, first time being, just be honest. This is your first time doing it. You never worked with other people before. Just be, why is this so close to my face? You have to be upfront and honest and tell people, the truth. Taking it as a business. That's where I was going at. Taking this as a business. For me, it is a business. I mean, it's personal. It's definitely highly spiritual, but it's also a business. And I took it as a private business. I've been doing it since I was 19, privately. I'm 35 now. As a public business, whereas you didn't have to already know me. You didn't have to know somebody that knew me. You could just contact me out the blue. That's been I want to say 3 years, maybe 4 years, maybe 3 or 4 years. Whereas publicly, where you didn't have to be in the same state as me or knew somebody that knew me to get it done, for me to do it for you. So as far as business wise, you have to be highly ethical in your business. You also have to be kind of a little bit unsympathetic and unempathetic. And this is for my people who want to take it as a business. Now, this is not for everybody. Now, the reason why I say that if business-wise you have to be a little bit unsympathetic and not empathetic is because people going to try you. Point blank, people going to try you. Now, I'm not saying that people aren't always going through stuff and that at times if you really feel the need to help them out, then go ahead, help them out. If that's what's on your heart to do and your spirit says to do it, I'm always going to say follow your spirit. But then there are times who people want stuff done, but they're trying to get it done for as cheap as possible. This is where I say you have to be unsympathetic and unempathetic to the situation. One, as the medium, again, you are the magic, so you're supposed to be detached anyway. But two, you need to make sure you're correctly compensated. And again, it's your option, but if you're taking this as a business, you want to make sure your business is respected, your time is respected, your craft is respected. So at that point in time, you have to be a little bit emotionally detached in order for that to happen. Now, this doesn't have to mean you have to be detached like, oh, fuck you, pay me. You ain't got to be all like that. But you can, let them know up front, this is my price if you want me to help. And you can have a payment plan or, again, like the barter system or something. But make sure that Again, you don't have to be ignorant about it. I don't believe in being ignorant about it, but you do need to be upfront about it. And also, for me, I say don't go poaching for clients. Let it be known that you do the work, but don't go. For me, I say don't go poaching for clients, because if you go poach for clients, then of course they're going to expect a discount because you came to them. They ain't come to you. So relax, get out there, let people know that you do the work, but let them come to you in their own time. Just keep doing the stuff for yourself. And, if you have friends that like to experiment on their lives, hey, knock yourself out and experiment on their lives. Um, and, do that, but do not go poaching for clients. That's one of the things you really do not want to do, especially in this line of work. I know a lot of times we see a lot of stuff on, and this video is getting really long, but I know a lot of times we see a lot of stuff on social media, on basically social media out there saying how to get more clients, how to build your email list, this and that. Well, in the line of work that you're doing, if you're doing this type of work for other people, that little client list don't work, because you're not going to go down a client, what you need, what you need, what you need, what you need. That's when you have a product that that you want to sell, and you have a client list who's already interested, and then you're just doing stuff to pull them more in to agree to make it at sale. But in this, it's the other way around. It's just like if you was a pastor, or if you was a school counselor, you're not going to go around someone saying, "What's your problem? Come here, let me talk to you. Let me say what your problem is. Let me say how to fix it." You're not going to do that. You look crazy doing it. In spirit and spiritual, taking spirituality as a business, you have to let it come to you. Let spirit lead them to you. One, it'll be respected more. Two, it'll go right, and three, it don't come off as, to me, it comes off as kind of desperate, honestly. So it won't come off as desperate. You let them come up to you. Can I think of anything else? Because if not, I want to shut this down. This is like 17 minutes right now. Let me say other than that. So I talked about money. I talked about morals. Kind of touched on morals. And I have to keep saying that. Have a moral baseline, especially if you're going to do work for other people. Have your moral baseline set, which things you're going to do with things that you're not going to do. But also, that's the other thing. You should have a referral list. You should have some people that you trust, that if this is an area that you don't go into, you know somebody who does, and you can refer them to them that you trust, that you know does good work. It's not going to take the client for granted. It's not going to run with the money, and has results. Now, this could be a friend that y'all both just starting out, but you have your area, the other person has their area. Also, never be jealous of another one's success or work. Everybody had to, I'm going to say it again, everybody had to start somewhere when it comes to working for others, especially taking it for a business. Everybody starts to work, so never be jealous of anybody. You can look at them and never be envious. You can look at, and never be envious either. You can look at them and go, well, this person does a lot of clients. I would like to have a lot of clients like them, and start doing work for yourself so that more clients will come to you. But never be jealous of another person. Never try to start. One of the saddest things that I always see when people are just starting to either come out the closet, or when they're well, I guess it's still coming out the closet in a way. When they want to take a business, they want to take on clients, they like to start wars. Stupid wars, just to try to prove that they're the better person at doing work for others. That's the worst you could do. That makes you look crazy, honestly. And for those people who have people coming at them, trying to start wars with them, just because you're now starting your own business, you're trying to do your own thing, don't engage them. The best thing you can do is give them no attention whatsoever. Everything is energy. The best thing you can do is give them no energy whatsoever. If you can. If you can, especially if it's online and it's from a distance, bye. They tried it to keep it moving. But stay positive. Positivity is everything. Positivity and confidence is actually the best protection you can have whatsoever. Little secret. You don't have to do so much protection work when you have a positive outlook, a positive attitude. You stay in a positive surrounding, or as much as possible. And what's the other word? And you have confidence. And doing work for yourself starts to build that confidence. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. This video is now almost 20 minutes long. I hope I covered every part of it that I want to cover. Again, I apologize if this video is going up so late. I really thought I already did it, and I went and checked, and the video's not up. And I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'm totally sorry. But other than that, what did y'all think about what I said, guys? What did y'all think about what everybody has said so far this week? Don't forget to put that down in the comments. Don't forget to rate and also subscribe. Don't forget to check out all the other social media Witches of the Moon is on. Don't forget to check out all the other people on Witches of the Moon, because we love each other and like to support each other. And I will see y'all next week. Peace.